Breaking news, President Trump will be meeting New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani on the Oval Office today. That's right. Communist Mayor of New York City, Zohran Mamdani, has been asking for a meeting. We have agreed that this meeting will take place at the Oval Office on Friday, November 21st. Further details to follow. One thing I have to say about Trump. This dude is 80 years old, and he has been absolutely bodying every single politician he talks to. Everyone talks a big game before they meet up with Trump, and then they meet up with the Trumpster, and they get absolutely dumpstered. Now, just for complete and utter brevity, this is the Communist Control Act of 1954, an American law that literally allows the denaturalization and deportation of communists. That is completely not relevant yet, but I really hope that we manage to bring this back, because I think that'd be very funny. So now I wanted to show you Zohran Mamdani side by side. This is him talking about Trump a few months ago, and this is him after he got the invitation to the White House talking about Trump today, completely and utterly cucked and neutered.
My administration would be Donald Trump's worst nightmare.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
I have many disagreements with the president, and I believe that we should be relentless and pursue all avenues and all meetings that could make our city affordable for every single New Yorker.
All right.
I intend to make it clear to President Trump that I will work with him on any agenda that benefits New Yorkers.
Ooh, the walk back, the instant walk back. I will be his worst nightmare. I will work with him on everything that I can. Absolutely and utterly cucked. Obviously, his people do not like him for this generational speedrun cave. That's crazy. It turns out if you're a communist, you have no money, and now you need money, and you want Trump to give you money, because Trump said, actually, this is not going to go well for you at all. Where's that tweet? I literally pulled up a tweet. Oh, yeah, this is it. Self-proclaimed New York communist Zohran Mamdani, who's running for mayor, will prove to be one of the greatest things to happen to our great Republican Party. He's going to have problems with Washington like no mayor in the history of our once great city. Remember, he needs the money from me as president in order to fulfill all of his fake communist promises. He won't be getting any of it, so what's the point of voting for him? The ideology has failed always for thousands of years. It will fail again, and that's guaranteed. So this is the timeline. Zohran Mamdani says, I will be his worst nightmare. I'm going to fight him on everything in order to get the votes from the retards that hate Trump. Trump says, we're not giving you any money. He actually gets elected. He immediately starts crying about it. He actually needs to work with Trump on everything. Actually, we need to work with Trump on literally everything. Please, we need to ask Daddy for some money. And it turns out they are meeting up. And Zohran Mamdani is going to get, in my opinion, humbled a little bit. And then he's going to leave and talk a big game like he absolutely had control. Like you could already see this coming. Trump is going to humble the fuck out of him. He's going to talk about why he's actually fighting for America, which he's not. He's fighting for immigrants. Let's be real. We know exactly what he's fighting for. Legal or illegal, he's fighting for all those guys. Trump is going to steamroll him, and then he's going to leave and be like, I had to do this in order for New York, and then we'll see what happens. But essentially, he's decided to kiss the ring, all right? Instant ring kiss. Everyone's upset. So his constituents hate it because they hate Trump more than they like America. And Caroline Leavitt actually just addressed this.
I think I will just add, it speaks volumes that tomorrow we have a communist coming to the White House, because that's who the Democrat Party elected as the mayor of the largest city in the country. I think it's very telling, but I also think it speaks to the fact that President Trump is willing to meet with anyone and talk to anyone and to try to do what's right on behalf of the American people, whether they live in blue states or red states or blue cities, in a city that's becoming much more left than I think this president ever anticipated in his many years of living in New York himself.
Yeah, because it turns out if you import an underclass into society, that they will endlessly vote for the people to give them free money from the people that earned it. Who would have thought? Who would have thunk it? And now there's mass looting going on all over New York, which I'm going to show you in a minute. It's going to be very funny. I mean, not if you're a New Yorker, but also, like, you voted for this. What am I supposed to say? Like, you literally voted for your own destruction. Am I supposed to cry? So, like, do you want my tears? I'm sorry. Find them another time. All right? Like, wake me when it's a shithole. Oh, wait. I'm already awake. So anyway, the surprise is Zohran Mamdani, in my opinion, is easily in my top 5 communists that Trump met up with over the last few months. Obviously in fourth place, we have Mark Carney, the communist Prime Minister of Canada, also known as North Dakota. We call it Gay Dakota. That's what we call it among the channel. In third place, we have the President Xi from China. He's above Mark Carney because he's actually the guy in charge of Mark Carney. He owns Mark Carney, which is why he's third place. Then you have the person above him in second place, obviously, We have Zohran Mamdani. He's easily my second favorite communist that's coming to the White House. Also because he's a radical Islamist. That's pretty cool. We've had other radical Islamists come to the White House from Qatar, from Syria, so that's pretty awesome. And in first place, my favorite communist to come to the White House has got to be, without exaggeration, I know you thought I was gonna say Putin, but it's Gavin Newsom. Actually, Gavin Newsom, another one of President Xi's favorite toys. So anyway, that's basically where we're at. Top 5 communists. I hope they discuss Zohran Mamdani's aunt. So anywho, Mr. Zohran decided to release a couple of ads, and let's just say it really didn't go well. A lot of people are actually really mad at Zohran Mamdani. People don't like him because it turns out when you promise free things, you actually have to have the things before giving them, and he doesn't have any of the things.
It's been 2 weeks since we won the election. We've been pretty busy.
The Democratic Socialist, Zohran Mamdani.
Too often, this is a time of just celebration as opposed to preparation. We want to make it both. A lot of these things are new, but one of them is pretty old. Fundraising. But why are we?
The first thing we need to talk about, fundraising. We need more money. Now, if you remember, this is the third ad he's made for raising money since actually winning the election. I mean, what did they expect? They elected a communist. And dude, this is after he has Soros money. He literally got $40 million from George Soros. And this dude is already raising money. He's asking for more. He's a communist. He's trying to make things free. You need to have money to make things free. Nothing's free.
Fundraising. Well, we have less than 50 days until we take office, and we have a lot to do.
That's true, because you actually need things to make them free.
We have to vet the 50,000 resumes we've received. Thank you. We have to keep paying our incredible team. Thank you. And we have to plan not just our inauguration, but our policy implementation.
All right.
Now, unlike the campaign, transitions do not get public matching funds from the city. So that 8-to-1 match, gone.
This thing that I promised you that we're gonna have in order to make things free, we don't actually have that thing to make things free. I lied to all of you. This probably sucks if you're you, but it's pretty great if you're me, because I'm elected.
It's up to us to raise the money.
Yeah, right. So remember I promised you that we're gonna have all this free shit from the city? Well, nope. Actually, you have to pay for it. Now, you can either pay for it in the grocery store, or you can give me the money as a donation to make it free. Oh my God.
Usually campaigns take that as an opportunity to rely on wealthy donors, but that's not us.
Well, actually, that's not true, because you have George Soros, who funded you $40 million. So, oopsie poopsie, that's not true.
Already been incredible. We've raised more than $1 million in just 2 weeks.
After $1 million, he's still like, we don't nearly have enough money.
Our average donation is around $77, and more than 12,000 of you have donated so far.
Including George Soros?
Which is much lower than the last administration's transition.
So not only do we not have money, but we're also not even getting donations, because it turns out we have literally made our entire platform fighting for the immigrants that want to steal money from other people, and the poor people that want to take money from other people, and the underclass of society that wants free things. So it turns out we marketed our entire campaign for the people that don't have money, and now we're not getting donations. It's really weird how this keeps happening.
But we're still asking for your help, because we need to raise $4 million in total, so January 1st can be the day we start to deliver, not start to prepare. I hope very soon not to have to ask you for money. But
I am guessing that does not happen.
Until then, I'm asking for you to go to transition.
It's crazy how every single socialist guy that ever wins an election immediately starts asking for money. Like, do you remember the Bernie Sanders, I am now asking for your financial support? Like, you remember all these guys.
2025.com and give whatever you can.
For the record, his mother is a millionaire, by the way.
To help build a New York that everyone can afford. This is your city, and I can't wait to get to work. No, I'm kidding. Thank you, guys.
I'm so well loved by everyone that doesn't know anything.
Thank you.
Look at all these immigrants. They love me. Paid actors. Anyway, so moving on. People are not super happy with him. Now, he's also done a couple of interviews because it's actually pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting to have a radical Islamist communist that's the mayor of the biggest city in America. Now, you probably think, Nux, why do you think that's exciting? This is a bad thing. No, it's exciting because it's a bad thing. What do you mean? You don't want to accelerate an Islamic takeover of our country? Get with the times, young blood. Inshallah, as they say in England.
And the other one, you're talking about fast and free buses, and you're meeting with the governor. Right. I've heard you talk
fast buses. He's making the buses faster with communism.
About many times that you don't want to take money away from the MTA. Mm-hmm. You want to put money back in. It's something that she agrees with, right? We don't want to take away money from the MTA. How are you getting that money?
Yeah, how are you doing that?
$700 million to make the buses free into the MTA.
Do you even hear the phrases? Do you even hear the sentences that they say? Like, the sentences that they say is insane. Like, just listen to it. You need $700,000 to make the buses free. then they're not fucking free. Like, are we all on the same page? Like, this is crazy.
If she's not for raising taxes.
Oh, 700 million. Oh, my bad. Did I say 700,000? I meant 700 million. Yeah, you need 700 million to make the buses free.
You know, I think that the two clearest ways to raise that money is through the raising of the state's corporate tax to match that.
But she said no.
Easy. All you need to do is tax people more to make things free. We need to take their money to give them things for free. It sounds so stupid because it is.
I think that a lot of this is still a case to be made. Whether it's the corporate tax or whether it's the personal income tax on those who make more than $1 million a year or more, I think that these are the clearest ways. I've also said that if there are other ways to raise this funding, the most important fact is that we fund it, not the question of how we do it, but that we do it.
This is the worst response I've ever heard in my life. How are you going to raise money for the free buses you promised? How we raise money is not important. It's that we raise money by taxing people a lot more because of communism. Thank you for saying that. Very cool. We're so cooked. We're so cooked. It's crazy. It's insane. I'm so happy I left New York. So happy I lived in New York for 3 years. I'll be real. It's not the same place. I go back to visit family there, but it's not the same place, man. Holy. Oh, I am in a very much more sunshining state. God bless. I'll be real. Anyway, Zohran Mamdani wants to spend $65 million on childhood sex changes. Not to Muslim kids, but like he wants to sterilize your children. It's like we have to understand.
And one of the things that we've said beyond saying that we're going to make this a sanctuary city for LGBTQI workers.
That's right. LGBTQIA plus 2 UI XYZ members are going to have a discount.
Beyond saying that we're going to establish LGBTQIA plus affairs is also that we're going to provide $65 million in funding for gender-affirming care.
That's right. We will. This is the transition 2025 that no one expected. Bro is saying, listen, I know we do not have money for all these things that I promised, but I am going to make sure we have enough to sterilize your children. All right, this is important. All right, we will sterilize your children first and foremost. The
same amount of funding that the federal government will pull out for providers for that kind of work.
Based? I would love that. One of the goats of the Trump administration is that he stopped funding child castration.
And in this moment especially, if we want to fight the Trump administration, we have to do so by funding our...
You know the craziest part? Like, you could be a radical Islam and a radical leftist at the same time. Like, a lot of people are like, how does this work? Well, it actually works very well. You see, the goal of radical Islam is to outbreed you. The goal of the radical leftists is to sterilize you. This is literally hand in hand. This is perfect. This is absolute cinema. Let's import a bunch of people from countries where they'll have 8 children each from inbred parents, and then let's literally just sterilize the population that we're moving into. It's absolute cinema. Wow.
Services, taxing the wealthiest corporations here.
All we need to do is tax lots of people, lots of money, fight Trump, and sterilize your children. Vote for Zohran Mamdani, ladies and gentlemen. It's amazing. It's better for everyone. Now, he's also, introducing an entire new thing where he's trying to teach Arabian numerals to Americans. He wants to mandate Arabian numerals in American schools. A lot of people are freaking out about this. The reality, though, is that Arabian numerals are just numbers. They're just numbers. Arabian numerals are just numbers. They're trying to get everyone like this big troll, but it's kind of backfiring a little bit right now. It's like, all right, so we are going to specifically be focusing on 2 Arabian numerals. See, this is the number 9, and this is the number 11 in Arabian numerals. Now, we don't talk about this because Zohran Mamdani's aunt would get panic attacks from going on the subway in her hijab. And that's obviously worse than the 3,000 people getting killed by radical Islamism. So this is someone, a Palestinian activist named Aber Kawas, was endorsed by Zohran Mamdani to be the New York State Assembly seat in Queens. I've already shown this clip, but there's news about her.
And so, and finding that, the system of capitalism and racism and white supremacy, etc., and Islamophobia have all been used, to colonize lands, right? To take resources.
Right. Islamophobia is colonizing lands. You know the only thing that colonizes more lands than Islamophobia? Chat, let me know in the comments. Could you think of one thing that colonizes more lands than Islamophobia? To everyone in the chat saying Islam, you are correct. In fact, Islam is a much bigger colonizer than Islamophobia. In fact, that's why you have almost 60 Muslim majority countries. Soon to be 61 if you include Canada. 62 if you include the UK. But the reality of the matter is, the number 1 colonial religion on the planet is Islam.
from other people. And so this is like a long trajectory, and we're just seeing the manifestations of that continuation, right, with 9/11. And so...
Right, 9/11 was so bad because of Islamophobia. This is all of them. This is every single one of them. I have yet to see someone be like, yeah, actually Islamophobia was bad. Actually 9/11 was bad because on 9/11 there was a terrorist, a radical Islamic terrorist that flew a plane into a building, 2 buildings, and murdered 3,000 people. And then there were mass celebrations across the Middle East and the Muslim world. Okay? This is the craziest part. It's the mass celebrations of this terror attack that really woke you up. It's wild. But obviously they think Islamophobia was worse.
A lot of times when people are asking us to respond about, you know, attack.
Yeah, respond.
Right? If you look back, like, historically, right, you know, a lot of us come from lands that were colonized, lands where wars are being waged, right?
So she's basically saying that she endorses the 9/11 terrorist attack because of Islamophobia. Got it.
A lot of times because of U.S. policy or the policies in Europe. And so I find that we can connect over that, but then also that the idea that we have to apologize for, like, a terror attack that, like, a couple of people did, and then there is no...
And then there were mass celebrations of millions, yeah.
Apologies or reparations for genocides and for slavery.
You mean the slavery that you guys still do to this day? Like, this is the craziest part. It's like this is where the leftism manages to find a handhold. The leftism finds a handhold with the Islamism when you're like, well, actually, America's bad because there were slaves hundreds of years ago. Meanwhile, there are still slaves today in Saudi Arabia, for example, in Iran, in Syria. But anywho, this is the crazy update. Zohran Mamdani endorsed this candidate for New York State Assembly, who described a convicted Al-Qaeda financier as an imprisoned hero, and an Algerian man convicted of plotting to bomb New York City synagogues as her brother. So this dude, Drew Pavlo, decided to do some digging, found the old Tumblr account of this Aber Kawas. This is wild. Queens man pleads guilty to plot to blowing up synagogue in Manhattan, and she supports him. What? Actually, what? Kawas wrote of Farhani as a brother whose family I know. She wrote, he saw nowhere out but death. This is the state our people are in. Essentially running defense for bomb plots that, thank God, are foiled. But they're plots nonetheless. What? Huh? So Zohran Mamdani chose this lady to be her representative. Now, this is an ex-Muslim talking about the Mamdani rise to power, and it's truly terrifying. And then I'm going to show you the mass looting that's been going on.
Mamdani is practicing taqiyya.
1,000%. 1,000%.
So taqiyya, for those of you that are unaware, is a Islamic law which permits Muslims to lie to infidels. It's a literal law in the Quran that you are allowed to lie to manipulate infidels. That's taqiyya. So this guy is an ex-Muslim, and he's talking about how, of course, he's practicing this taqiyya trickery.
He's presenting
the Muslims are laughing at you guys. Like, this is the funniest thing. Like, dude, give it 50 more years, entire New York's gonna be Muslim, and then before you know, it's gonna be Sharia courts, and then, like, y'all are. It's like shooting yourself in the foot. Like, I can't even believe. And, like, you see Europe. You look at Europe, it's happening right now, and then you're like, oh, let's just do it here in New York. Like, it's like, no, like, you have to stop. Like, obviously taqiyya is working, and they're doing an amazing job at it, and they're fooling everyone. Like, and all the Muslims are, like, so happy that's happening. Like, this is the best thing that could happen in Islam. And he's gonna win because we're too stupid. No matter how many times ex-Muslims will say taqiyya is a real thing, they are lying to you. They will take over within 100 years. No one's gonna listen. Because we just assume that our God is the same as their God. We just assume that their God will tell them not to lie, but their God tells them to lie. That's the difference.
But are you could it be that someone like he's Muslim, he's a practicing Muslim, self-professed, you know, he's avowed, that's what he is. But maybe in the back of his mind, he's like, yeah, I'll be practicing Muslim and I'll tolerate other people. But the more he leads, the more for him to practice, he has to dominate. But I mean, I'm just saying, could it be in the back of his mind, there's a duplicity in his own mind where he doesn't realize that he's not intentionally practicing taqiyya, is what I'm saying. Or you think, no, it's like, this is a strategy.
I don't think you realize how bad it is. I don't think, like, they talk about it openly. Like, they'll literally be like, guys, we have to go out and say, like, we love the gays so that we can take over the West. And then as soon as we take over, we'll kill all the gays.
Bro! That's crazy. That's wild. So, yeah, anyway, like, you have these people coming out just, like, laughing. Like, these ex-Muslims coming out just laughing and like, holy shit, these people are falling for all this. This is crazy. This is wild. So, this is Zohran Mamdani's New York. This is protesters chanting death to the IDF, resistance is glorious, intifada revolution at a New York City synagogue. For the record, the IDF is every single Israeli, because everyone in Israel has a mandatory service in the military, you know, because they're surrounded by people that are trying to kill them all the time. So there's a mandatory military. Remember how they just hate Israel. They don't hate all Jews. This is them chanting this in front of a random synagogue in New York. Yeah, so anyway, Kathy Hochul, this is the governor of New York. No New Yorker should be intimidated or harassed at their house of worship. Wow, you did a really good job about stopping all this violent shit anywhere. And what happened last night at the synagogue was shameful and a blatant attack on the Jewish community. Hate is no place in New York. You elected hate! You elected a guy that says globalize the intifada. You elected hate. Yeah, you can miss me with this fake bullshit. Hate has no place here. We really don't hate it. Yeah, all right, dude. All right, dude. Well, anyway, this is not just a Jew problem. Obviously, it says in the Quran that first you wipe out the Jews, then you wipe out the Christians. So, I mean, realistically, I do believe that Jews are first on the hit list. But this isn't everyone problem. This isn't everyone problem. It's bad on the stance of importing infinite radical Muslims, and I'm not talking about like Muslims that are trying to integrate and stuff. I'm talking about like the actual importation of the radicals and defense of the radicals that are illegal in the country. All right, so that's happening. All right, at the same time, you get the radical woke shit. You get the communism, running out all the rich people and all the people that actually do work. And now, sanctuary looters empty New York City. Mass looting going on because he literally wants to stop the prisons.
And then there's this. The election of Zohran Mamdani as New York City mayor already sparking an exodus out of New York, even before he's sworn in, as wealthy New Yorkers look to escape higher taxes and other promised socialist policies.
Yep. Do you ever hear about New York City and feel like this place is just unraveling? Well, it is, and it's happening fast. And
To be fair, it's been happening since COVID. Again, I've lived in New York, so I've seen the before and after COVID slides. Before COVID, New York was a shithole. After COVID, you leave New York. Like, that's the difference. All right, before COVID, shithole. After COVID, literally get the fuck out. It's ceded land. It's over.
The plundering of local businesses now happens.
Look at all these straight white men committing crime. Look at all these Zionists breaking into stores and shit. Dude, all these white Christians out here breaking into stores? These cisgender whites.
So regularly, store owners feel they're on borrowed time every time they open their doors. And though many a New York City resident voted for our new socialist mayor,
right,
experts say the crime problems we experience here are only just beginning.
Oh, good. That's great. Love to hear that.
So
all these guys in MAGA hats breaking into stores. Oh, these white people. Fuck.
Danny,
all right, just letting you know, New York City qualifies as a PvP zone. All right, we're currently in the early beta, and even on the beta, it's already diabolical, not recommended for new players.
Who understand what is our concern to be safe in
Look at all these Jews.
our bodegas, because be safe in our bodegas is not only the bodega, it's about our community.
We're gonna have a big problem with the safety, because remember that he was one of the who created.
And the crazy thing is, and I'm just gonna I'm gonna tell you something crazy. Fleeing is handing them the city. So I personally have a lot of conservative values. I believe that my family's safety comes before fighting for my city. Okay, that's my opinion. And my family, well, let's just say if my grandfather could have left Poland before the Holocaust, I would have voted for him to do that. Maybe he would have had some living family members if that would have happened. You know, so again, that's my stance a little bit. But anywho, this is crazy. This is insane. Like, you realize that New York is a city where a lot of immigrants move to legally. Right? You have a lot of legal immigrants that immigrated from Mexico or whatever, legally, through the proper systems. They're trying to make a life for themselves, open up, a business, and the business gets looted. Like, shit's crazy for these guys, too. Like, it's just bad for everyone, unless you are literally the lowest common denominator.
The problems that we are facing now with the unsafety, he was one of the ones that supported defund the police.
And Sade, this really has been wide-ranging, from lower Manhattan up here to the Bronx, victims ranging in age.
They don't even have skill-based matchmaking on this PvP server. We're having GTA 6 in real life before we have GTA 6.
From 16 to that 76-year-old, police have released these images and video recovered from the latest robbery.
We have sometimes had people walk in here with like no shirt on, like begging for money.
Alex Amato says he's noticed a change outside his business in the Fordham section of the Bronx, and he says it's not for the better.
Things are getting worse.
Right.
Listen, it's just a coincidence, all right? This is all just a vocal minority, guys. Or it's literally baked into the policies to not punish criminals and to incentivize them from stealing shit. This is the GTA 6 beta test.
Now, there are plenty of people packing up their bags ready to flee New York City to get out as fast as they can.
Yep.
Almost
I was ahead of the game. All right, I left years ago.
800,000 New Yorkers are prepared to leave the city.
Oh.
So former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani has said that our new mayor, Mr. Mamdani, should step down because he is an alleged security threat. And that
it's crazy that they lost to this guy. It's crazy that everyone lost to this dude, man. So for the record, this guy, Rudy Giuliani, like, it's just infinite retard hamster wheel. Like, he went up against, like, you look at his opponents and it's like Cuomo. Like, they got an actual sex offender guy to be his rival. Like, it's crazy.
That is an interesting statement because nobody's talking about how New York City's status makes it a target for the bad guys who may very soon have more freedom than ever to roam its streets. As the new mayor's made it clear he prefers alternatives to police wherever.
That's right. He wants to hire social workers and therapists instead of police officers. Now, I know what you're thinking. If you are being robbed by an armed robber, what you really want is a therapist.
Possible, as well as alternatives to jails and prisons, which he says don't make society safer.
Yes, but this is a known Zohran Mamdani stance. The known Zohran Mamdani stance is prisons actually don't make this people safe. Prisons are actually bad for safety.
Somehow make our streets less safe, even though jails separate criminals from the rest of us. But there's another problem.
Like, again, the funniest part is, like, anyone that's logical, even a little bit, would understand this. I don't understand how 80% of white women voted for Zohran Mamdani. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I knew that they were, like, suicidally empathetic. Like, that they were, like, empathetic to, like, the extreme. I did not think they were, like, retarded. But the liberal white women in New York, I think, actually are retarded. It's actually insane. Like, if you think about it, it's crazy.
Crime in New York City, it's not Zohran Mamdani's fault. After all, he has...
Like, dude, imagine being so suicidally empathetic that you're gonna have a guy like Zohran Mamdani show up and be like, these poor people are just mentally ill. Why are we locking them away? And then you have, like, the liberal white women being like, oh my God, so true. Literally so true and real. We shouldn't arrest people just for being mentally ill. Then fast forward 2 years, I don't feel safe on my street. Men are the problem. Yeah, right. Men are the problem. Yep, men are the problem.
Even been sworn in as mayor yet, which is another problem because felony convictions here are plummeting, giving local officials the fakery they need to claim the city and its subway are safe because the numbers prove it when the opposite is true.
So this is a known thing that New York's been doing for a long time. I don't know if he's going to bring this up, but they stopped considering certain crimes, violent crimes, so that they can artificially show stats that the city is safer than ever. This is crazy, for the record. This is crazy. So this is a very, very known thing that New York's been doing. They've been like, oh, yes, technically you had a knife, but you didn't use the knife on the guy. So therefore, it's not counted as a assault with a deadly weapon. And then they'll look at the stats and they'll be like, see? So few assaults with deadly weapons. You choked the person with your bare hands while holding them at knife point. You didn't actually use the knife, so therefore the assault wasn't with the knife. This was a whole scandal that happened in New York. So again, this is where we're at, right? The statistics are true, but the statistic aggregators are frauds.
The streets aren't safe, businesses aren't safe, which perfectly explains why those with the means to do so are heading for the exits. And that brings us...
Someone in my chat just said, if you remove all laws, then there won't be any crime. True! I'm gonna use that. That's a great line. All we simply need to do is remove the laws, and then we will have no criminals. Yo! I didn't look at it from that perspective. You're so right.
To the real reason crime here may soon reach levels that shock even progressives.
Yeah, both progressives and Hassan Piker's dog are shocked.
As if things are already a disaster and criminals are released en masse from our jails, where are they gonna go? Are they gonna go to New York University?
They're gonna go to your house.
Or are they gonna go back to the scene of the crime? Are we really supposed to expect that after years of decriminalizing criminal behavior, the bad guys are suddenly gonna
to be fair, that's what we've been doing. They're like, please, pickpocketing, is that really so bad? Please, shoplifting, is that so bad? some graffiti, a little bit of vandalism. Is that even so bad? Yes, they're all theft. They're all part of the 10 Commandments. This is what our principles are based on, by basic biblical principles. 10 Commandments, man. Oh my God. This reminds me of the poor girl in Sweden that was raped, and they didn't deport the rapist because the rape didn't last long enough to deport. It's like just a little bit of rape, just a little bit of thievery. It's like not so bad. Like, what are we doing?
Just reform their lives on their own once there are even less consequences? Well, watch this and decide for yourself.
Violate a lady, but you do that again?
I saw this clip actually. This is in New York. So this is a straight white male harassing an Asian woman.
I'm what we're talking about.
The Gotham City subway. As you can tell, this is clearly a Hasidic Jew. I mean Zionist that's harassing this Asian girl. It's insane. And no one does anything about it. Dude, we are living in a post-Irina Zara environment, and no one is doing anything about this.
This place is the Wild West. That altercation could have gone sideways real quick, and stuff like that's happening all the time, and it never makes the news. But the problem for New York progressives and socialists is that this happened on the subway, which is constantly defended as being the safest place on earth.
I mean, because they just decriminalize everything.
Doesn't even need any police. But sadly, this is where you'll find all of New York City's worst problems rolled into one: crime, lawlessness, and the sad effects of neglecting the homeless. But as you're about to see, those problems, well, they don't stay beneath.
Oh, but you shouldn't take homeless people off the streets. That's not fair to their self-determination or whatever. Probably.
The streets of this city forever.
A crime spree spanning 3 months and 2 boroughs.
Boy.
Medina was victim number 16,
Oh,
robbed
boy.
of $500 on Halloween morning. Police say the first incident occurred in September, the latest just 2 days ago in Manhattan. The MO involves the suspect riding up to a victim who was walking or on bikes themselves.
So here we've got a guy riding around on an e-bike, robbing people. He's done it a whole bunch of times. He's not even
How is this happening? How is this happening?
masked up, and he keeps getting away with it. Now, what does that tell you? He's not afraid of police. And if criminals aren't afraid of police, that makes every single law.
But this is the worst villain of all time. Like, I feel like when I think of like bad villains, I think of, Bon Voyage from The Incredibles. You know, that retard that keeps blowing himself up by accident trying to rob banks and shit. That's what I think of. But I'll be real, this guy tops it. This is like a level 1 villain. This is the low tier goon that is terrorizing society because the police refuse to arrest him. He's just guy on a bike, fake Moomin Rider over here, all right, driving around just robbing people and getting away with it. He's robbed 16 people and no one stopped him. This is crazy. This is like the newbie area mob.
Fighting individual a target for them. It gives them absolutely no incentive to get real jobs, reform their ways.
Yeah, why do that? Why do that if you could just steal and they won't arrest you for it?
Change for the better, revealing that living in a totally unsafe, totally lawless environment that's about to get worse might be a disastrous mistake. Unless, of course, you're a criminal who benefits from this kind of thing.
Right. Again, that's the flaw with democracy. The flaw with democracy is that the retards vote, all right? That is the big flaw here. Like, the criminals are going to vote for the party that's soft on crime. The poor people are going to vote for the party that wants to take money from the successful people and give it to them. The people that are lazy would rather vote for the party that's going to give them free shit than the people that contribute to society. That's the issue here. And then, of course, you have the suicidally empathetic retards that think it's actually sad for the poor, mentally ill people to get arrested. Right? Like, again, this is crazy. And this propaganda obviously works.
The Amex Snatcher.
Really quick and calculating, utilizing distraction.
He's so quick and calculating. Look at the way he leans over, literally on camera, and empties the cashier.
Look at this guy.
Wow,
According to the United Bodegas
Look, he
of
stole
America.
the phone, too.
This guy had an American Express duffel bag.
Probably got it for
The
free.
employee says this empanadas. She went to the kitchen to prepare.
200 IQ villain. He reaches over and he empties the cash on camera. He's unstoppable. Actually undefeatable.
Order, and when she came back, the register was left open.
You know what? Since he didn't come in with his face covered.
Oh, he's here with his face out. Dude's not even like covering his face. He's like actually out there. Police hate him, but they can't stop him.
covered. He wasn't like trying to hide his identity.
I have never seen such cunning and wit. This is crazy.
Person probably assumed he wasn't there to rob the place. But where do you think this gentleman learned this irresponsible criminal behavior? Are we supposed to believe that he just woke up on the wrong side?
More straight white men, guys. More straight white men.
Out of the bed, decided not to go to work, and instead got his scooter and came to a bodega and
I can't believe he doesn't have a job.
Did this? Was this just an innocent mistake of somebody who temporarily lost their way, or is this a hardened street thug?
I mean, clearly this is someone with a mental illness, so they shouldn't be punished properly.
Long rap sheet. Behaving
Bro is playing three-dimensional chess. This is wild.
The exact same way as other street thugs with long rap sheets in this city, who've been allowed to perfect their techniques by a system that's decided.
This is crazy. How is this New York?
Not to punish anybody for anything, which essentially.
I just want to know, who did this guy vote for? Because I would have voted for the other guy.
He tells criminals the right time to make their move is whenever they feel like it.
Fernando Mateo, a spokesperson for the UBA, is urging store owners and employees to reconsider the location of their registers.
That's right. Don't arrest the criminals. Just move the cash registers away. Wow! I can't believe it. What a solution.
Don't have one.
Oh my God.
On high alert, make sure that you remove your cash register from the
This
reach
is
of anyone
insane.
that is over the counter.
Yeah.
And make sure, most importantly, that you keep an eye on your cash register.
Wow.
Right. So if no one's
That's
keeping
right.
an eye on the criminals, you better be keeping an eye on the criminals. And if the criminals aren't removed from the streets of this city, you better remove your cash register from where they can reach it.
This is the craziest
This is just so ridiculous. We're at a point now where so little gets done about crime.
Again, I believe in biblical law and order. We got to whip out some Old Testament laws. All right. You know the law. If you steal, according to the Old Testament, do you know the punishment for that? The punishment is you pay back double. That is the punishment in the Old Testament for stealing. You pay back double, not cut off the hands. That's a different religion. But if you steal, you pay back double what you actually stole. All right. And if you can't afford it, you must work as the servant of the person you robbed to pay off that debt. That is biblical law, and I fully support it. I fully support it. That would be awesome.
In this city, that businesses are paying the price in ways that just ruin the quality of life here for everybody. Who wants to have their cash register locked in a safe at the other end of the store? That's what we're going to be looking at. It's going to ruin the store for people who want to come in and buy things and get in and out of these little places quickly. But hey, we got criminals.
All right, you want to hear a really hot take? Popcorner sweet and salty kettle corn is absolutely one of the greatest snacks ever created. God bless America. God bless America. This is awesome. I love it.
Who know that this is where the money is. The money's right by the door. The whole thing's built on convenience, but now it's convenient for criminals because we don't think it's convenient to put criminals in jail. We don't think having a criminal behind bars makes society safer.
Let me talk about, let's talk for a minute about Rikers Island and reform of the jails. What would be your strategy, including sort of timeline changes, alternative sentencing, diversion programs?
The despair on Rikers Island has been...
The hopelessness that the criminals feel after getting arrested for rape. That's what I want to talk about today.
well known to many of us for quite some time, and yet it is despair that has only been heightened under this current mayoral administration. The jail population of Rikers has increased since Eric Adams has come into office by...
Now, you have to understand, my solution of paying back double what was stolen and then forcing to work as the servant of the person you robbed until you pay back the debt up to 6 years, that actually would free up the prison population. Like, hear me out. We don't even need to pay for their prison food. We don't even need to pay for their prison food, dude. They don't stay in prison. No, I also want to empty prisons by simply making them the indentured servants of the people they robbed. Bring back ethical slavery. Okay, I'm joking. Kidding.
more than 1,000 additional incarcerated New Yorkers.
But whose fault is that the jail population has increased? Is that the fault of the law-abiding, or is it the fault of the people who got arrested and wound up in that jail? See, that's the thing. Is Rikers Island perfect? Absolutely not. Should it be taken over by the federal government? Probably, because the place is a disaster. But you need a jail to separate criminals.
Jail. Why should jail suck for criminals? Because they're criminals. It should suck. Jail should suck. That's right. Jail has two purposes. The first purpose, it keeps them away from us. The second purpose, people won't actually want to commit crimes because they know the punishment is going to jail. If the jail is a cushy hotel, they don't care, all right? There's nothing to disincentivize them from committing crimes. So therefore, jails should suck. That's right. That's my opinion.
From the society they prey upon. If you're going to eliminate that jail in the name of reform, if you're going to pursue diversion, which is like having some hardened thug sit in a room with some college-educated person who doesn't have any idea how dangerous this person is and talk to him for an hour a month. I mean, if that's your diversionary program, that stuff does not work. And these criminals love diversion because it diverts them away from jail and back out onto the streets where they can continue doing their thing. Having criminals in jail to these individuals is a bad idea because they think it makes society worse because the jail's not a fun place.
Because, oh, the poor criminals.
To be. Well, should the jail harm people? No, but it shouldn't be a fun place to be. If criminals are in jail and they are despairing of their past deeds and they feel remorse, that's not
you know what? Maybe they won't want to go back. If jail's actually not so bad, then maybe they would actually want another government-paid vacation to go back to jail. Absolutely. Absolutely. Jail should suck. In fact, they should work. They should work to pay for their keep in jail. I don't know, they can make license plates or something. All right? Like, come on, dude. They should work for the government.
Terrible thing, because look at what the alternative is.
A heist
Look at this
con
guy.
a masked man yanking the register right from the bar at Boca Agua. emptying
Another criminal mastermind.
thousands of dollars right from the register. My bar was destroyed. His
Yeah, dude, I see a lot of Democrats saying, yo, we should not deport illegal immigrants because who's gonna pick our strawberries? I found who's gonna pick our strawberries, guys. I found it. They get fresh air, large fence, fresh air.
Sporting a hoodie and a backpack caught on video going through an office room in the restaurant.
All of my glass was broken. Everything on this shelf right here was on the floor. Fridges were open. My office, the door was broken as well.
These guys just plundered the whole place.
Yeah.
To be fair, they did it very stealthily and sneakily. There's no way to find out who actually did it on any of the 4 locations he hit.
Disaster.
And this is like somebody who works hard and has a business that
And for the record, this is probably an immigrant. I know that you're not supposed to like judge books by their colors, but yeah, I do that because I'm a human being, and everyone should do that. Actually, that's retarded. Why would you buy a book with a shitty cover? But like, this person is an immigrant trying to make their life better. Right? She's here. She's trying her best, and it's getting shit on by the people that shouldn't be here.
Enjoy. And what happens? These criminals come in there and they tear the place apart. Now, if these criminals right here, if this guy prowl around this office, or his friend jacking the cash register,
another straight white Zionist Jew every single time.
This person is in jail and feels bad about what they did, that is not a problem for society.
Another straight white Christian Zionist Jewish transphobic man. I can't stand it anymore.
For some reason, these bodega businesses, their organization that rallies around them, they came out in favor of Mr. Mamdani because they believe that his policies will make bodegas safer. But after they did that, people associated with that group decided to resign in protest.
So like, I see a lot of people like in chat saying that like whatever, but I'll be real here. If Jews steal, they would not steal like that. Jews would scam the shit out of you. Don't get me wrong. But Jewish scams are like through investments. All right. There are other ethnicities that are much more proficient at like ripping the cash register off the wall. That's like not a Jew thing, in my opinion. All right. So I'll be real. I'll just be honest. All right, let's be real. Every culture has their ways of stealing. All right, they'll have like a long-term scam over like 20 years and shit. That's like the Jewish scam. All right, every time you see a Jewish guy going to jail for scamming, that's how it's done. All right, every time, every single time.
It's our concern to be safe in our bodegas, because be safe is not only the bodega. It's about
what about straight white males. I mean, straight white males, they do like life insurance shit also, like a bit of trafficking maybe. Bit of trafficking. The Jewish scam is usury. Yeah, that's more classic Jewish, unfortunately, even though usury is forbidden in the Bible. But yeah, no, it's rough out there. Jews have +3 intelligence, -3 strength. You see, that was a very good way to put it, I'm not gonna lie.
Our community.
Right.
You gotta remember that he was one of who created the problems that we are facing now with the unsafety.
The more white person scam is like different types of frauds, like insurance fraud, property fraud. Like that's more the white guy scam. But the Jew scam is like fake investments and shit. The other ones are just like rip the cash register off the wall kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
He was one of the ones that supported defund the police, not prosecuting, not press charge to the criminals.
Right.
So we're gonna have a huge problems. I don't know how my friend got convinced to say that when all of the bodegueros, they feel that they were betrayed by someone that's supposed to represent it, and they know the problem that we have been facing with the public safety.
Now look, I think it goes without saying.
What about internet scams? Okay, this is not becoming racist hour where we talk about how different cultures scam you, but we all know that Indian scams are like the internet stuff. Like, you get a suspicious email, like that guy, that came from an Indian, all right? Like, or a Pakistani fellow.
But the
difference between Indian scams and Pakistani scams are Indian scams, they'll want to talk you through it. Like, they'll give you like the phone call, they'll talk you through it, they'll like convince you, like they'll rizz you up. All right, the Pakistani scams are just like click the link and see what happens. So it's very important to understand the difference.
Person in New York hopes that crime does not get worse inside these bodegas, and everybody wants to believe that whatever happens in these bodegas is gonna get better, not worse.
Yeah, China scams, knockoff goods, right? Piracy. Pirated movies, that's the Chinese scams. Like, you have to know your racism. If you're not a little bit racist, then you're walking blind, okay?
But I mean, if you're not going to put the criminals in jail, if you want to shut down the jails, well, how are we going to accomplish that? And more importantly, how are we supposed to keep our streets safe when we're already headed in the wrong direction?
What are women scams? All right, we're not doing this for the rest of the video, but women scams is obviously giving them a driver's license.
By teaching our criminals that the worst thing they can expect when they do something wrong here is getting arrested. If they get arrested, then the only thing that happens is they waste
Italian scams in the fine print. That's crazy. Bro, stop. Guys, stop. Okay, we're not doing this. We're not doing this forever.
Their time in the back of a police car before they get released. In fact, did you know there's only a 15% chance of a felony conviction actually happening here? There's a 40% chance the charge just gets dismissed. So 40% of these criminals, they don't even get charged with the felonies they commit.
That's right.
And then there's...
Wow, look guys, crime is so down. We're just not convicting 40% of the criminals.
Very small chance that if they get charged, something actually happens.
47% of New Yorkers think that Mamdani would do a better job with the cost of living. But Mamdani, I think, is going to raise costs, especially with his brand of socialism that he wants to bring to the city, especially when it comes to city-run grocery stores, because I can't imagine.
So, okay, yes, socialist policies are going to raise costs. They have to, because things just get more expensive. But the other reason that nobody's talking about for why you've got an affordability crisis here is the crime. Crime is your crisis of affordability, and nobody wants...
I mean, to be honest, he's just completely right. It's like, why is traffic so bad? Well, if you deport 20 million people, traffic will get better. Why is the cost of living so bad? Well, if you deport 20 million people, the cost of living is going to get better. Why is there so much crime happening? Well, if you deport 20 million people that shouldn't be here, they can't get normal jobs. Well, the crime would actually be a lot better. Like, there really is like a common denominator.
Wants to admit it. Go to a store. Try to buy something. Why is it locked up? Because people steal it.
Yeah,
and with
crazy.
stores being...
It's insane. Insane. You go to like California or New York and you go to like Walmart and they have like different areas of the store locked up. You can't buy underwear without asking for someone to show up with a key to unlock the freaking underwear. All right, but then you go like to Florida in some Walmart in Florida or whatever, and it's like, it's freedom. It's complete freedom. Nothing, they don't even lock up the batteries.
Mostly locked up at this point because criminals aren't mostly locked up. Think of all the added costs associated with just allowing people to shop and buy stuff freely, and even stores where things are not locked up, like a grocery store. They're dealing with higher rates of theft than ever before, which means every single item on the shelf, whether it's locked up or not, carries with it a price that includes the amount the business expects to get stolen. The law-abiding in this city are already subsidizing crime at levels they cannot afford, and if the crime weren't there, costs would come down.
Crazy.
People would have an easier time buying groceries. And the other part of this equation is that when businesses shut down due to crime, who owns the building that the business is in? The landlord. A lot of these businesses, they're on the ground floor. You got apartments upstairs. Where's the landlord gonna get his rent? He's gonna get it from the apartments. If he can't get it from the business, you see.
You increase the rent of the apartments. That's every time. You freeze the rent, you just don't rent out the building. You take a loss on your taxes.
See, that's the other end of this affordability spectrum nobody's talking about. So these criminals shutting down our stores and robbing them are the reason that people can't afford where they live. and why they can't afford their groceries.
Exactly, and that's something that has failed all the time. And they want to use our tax-paid money to compete with us. So
this is the city-run stores.
Rewards for a small business. So if we have Mamdani there, we will disappear as a small business because
that sucks. See, this dude came in here to New York, probably immigrated completely legally. He wants to make a life for himself. He opens up a small business. People love his deli and grill, all right, and stuff like that. He wants to make his money in a good, healthy, kosher way, and now he can't. It's like the legal immigrants are the ones that are footing the bill for the illegal immigrants. The illegal immigrants are forcing the legal immigrants to stop making money. And then they move to Florida.
Is to destroy the small business, and the New York, he will create a huge chaos in the economics of New York City.
You know what? As crime skyrockets here and more businesses get shut down, more grocery stores get shut down, what's the fix gonna be? It's not gonna be to jail the criminals, is it? No, it's not. It's gonna be to roll out more city-run grocery stores.
Welcome to communism.
Because these small businesses, they don't have what it takes, and there is no problem too big for government to solve. That's what these individuals believe, when the reality is...
Hi, I'm from the government, and I'm here to help.
True. The reality is that there is no problem too small for government to keep its hands off. It needs to keep its hands off every single problem because everything government touches gets worse. Go to the DMV and tell me if that's how you want your grocery store to get run. And if we're going to defund our police and we're going to have social workers replace the cops, what's that going to do? We got hardened criminals out there who already aren't afraid of the cops. They're not going to be afraid of social workers. They may even rob the social workers. That would be terrible. This is all a big disaster in the making. Now, look, everybody hopes that it doesn't happen, that it doesn't go down this way, that perhaps the mayor says, you know what? We're going to have more police and maybe we'll have social workers. Well, okay, that's better than, having...
And it'll also cost more. You have to understand how this is going to work.
Less police and more social workers. Maybe instead of shutting Rikers Island down, we could spruce it up and expand it. Give more criminals a place to stay. I doubt that's going to happen. But to me, the only way to stop crime is to reward criminals with a jail and a jumpsuit. Those are the only two things they understand. And if criminals aren't going to get rewarded with that, residents of the city who can afford to will reward the city by...
Yeah, crazy. Someone in my chat just asked me what the Muslim scam is. Well, I'm actually glad you brought that up, actually. I'll show you. Breaking news. Minnesota's Somali community has been caught funneling taxpayer dollars to the terrorist group Al-Shabaab overseas by falsely diagnosing children with autism through Medicaid. In 2018, $3 million went to that community for Medicaid, and in 2023, $399 million went. Everyone's got a scam, and no one does it better than evil Moomin Rider, an unstoppable force. The way he adeptly reaches over to the cashier and takes all the money. Truly diabolical. Very excited to see, it sounds like a joke, yeah. Well, I'm very excited to see what the Trump Zohran Mamdani meeting is going to be. Definitely subscribe. See you there. Bye. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.